test.
That's us, test. That's us, test.
Hello, it's a different test.
Oh, okay, but you're getting closer.
Hi, everyone.
So you are an executive coach and author of this great book, Give Him Back His Balls, and an expert in communication and relationships and how to have a happy relationship. So before I set the 10-minute timer this morning, I would love for you to talk to us about what this title means.
Okay, all right, sure. Yes, when people ask me, "Oh, so you've written a book? What's the title?" and they have a very straight face or a very curious face, and then you say it's called "Give Him Back His Balls," and most of them go, "What?" So I go, "Yes, you have heard it right. It is actually called "Give Him Back His Balls." So yes, I had to think a while before I owned up to that title, because, forever after you've written a book like that, you'll be known as the Balls Lady, of course. So, I had to think long and hard.
Long and hard,
the Balls Lady.
Long and hard.
I'm used to that now.
Okay.
Yeah, hello. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Thanks, Gina. So it's actually a tongue-in-cheek way of saying, I could have given the book the title, why we need to become more feminine, and then for our husbands or men or people in our lives to be more masculine. So I thought, well, that's a really, really dry and boring title. But what I mean is literally that. So when people ask me, what's the title of your book? I say, Give Him Back His Balls. And then there's usually a pause, and I go, you can probably guess what that means. And they usually go, yes, it's probably a relationship book. And that's exactly what it is. And what it does mean is that very often in a relationship, be it even a not intimate relationship, but for now we're focusing on an intimate relationship because that's what the book is mostly about, is we have started to emasculate men, and that's what that title basically means. And the women who tend to read that, and there's a chapter for men as well, tend to know exactly what that means, and they go, I think I need to read that book. Because not everyone knows exactly what masculine and feminine is. But if you say, Give Him Back His Balls, most people have a bit of a
Sure. And, when you and I chatted before, we talked about the ABCs of how to give him back his balls. But before we get there, I want to hear about your relationship with your husband, Rex, and what really inspired this. Can you tell us that story?
Sure, absolutely, yes. And of course, it's delightful because in life, I believe that you are there to teach what you have to learn. So I have learned, and I'm still learning a lot, honestly. So my relationship with my husband Rex, we knew we were soulmates. We met each other in late 20s, and we knew we were meant to be together. And what happened, we did many things together, and we had beautiful times, beautiful years. And then after about 10 years, we had some small children, and it was almost like, the shine was gone. The shine was gone. The lights had gone a bit dim. And I remember vividly, I was sitting in the garden, I was weeping, I with tears streaming. What's happened to Brigitte and Rex? We were so, playful together. We were so beautiful together. There was passion. There was everything. We laughed, and there was this dance between us. And that wasn't there anymore. And I was going, we need to do something about that. And we started this quest.
And where did it lead you?
Well, first, I became first of all, I was going, I think
of course
he needs to change.
Right. All the time, right?
Yeah, of course. No, not me. Yeah, absolutely. There wasn't I think he needs to change. So, and it wasn't until I went onto some personal development courses, read some books, that I'm going, hey, perhaps
what a novel
I
idea.
need to change. Yeah. So I started Yeah, what a novel idea, right? And now, of course, I know that we don't have any control over who changes. And of course, when you change,
Sure.
everybody else and the people around you change. So I started to change, and I started to own that part. And I started to go, gosh, look at where I've come. And it came through because I was quite ill in my late 20s. I had typhoid, and I completely lost confidence. I would faint everywhere. I would just, collapse. And he thought, great guy, great strong man, but gentleman as well. He thought that letting me missions and letting me own and be responsible for a lot of the things in our family, I would just feel more confident, which I did. But at the same time, I lost that that playful part, that part of me that would dance and flow, because I had to be focused, and I had to just plan things, and I had to just, do the holidays and pack things, and I had to drive there, and everybody else was just joining for the journey. But I was exhausted. I would sleep for 3 days first part of the holidays, and I was going, I'm not. Slowly, I was going, something needs to change there. And that's why when I started on this quest, and it took me 10 years to figuring it out, falling on my face and figuring it out. Then people started to ask me, how did you do that? I did courses and workshops and lectures for women. Then I went, I can't reach enough people doing it this way. So somebody says, why don't you write a book? And because I've already written lots of articles, I thought, it's just like writing lots of articles, and you stick them all together and it becomes a book. And of course, that's
I know. Well, we both have written books. And what I want to say is your book is a great message to women and men. And you were blessed to find your passion and your ecstasy and love through your own journey. And I'm delighted that you wrote it in a book. So let's talk about the ABCs. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and you will give us all, impart your wisdom with the ABC of how to have a happier relationship by giving him his balls back. And men, nobody takes your balls without your permission. So pay close attention. Exactly. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Brigitte, let's start with A, awareness.
Okay. A, that's the awareness. So the first one is we need to be understanding what masculine and feminine energy is. And for me, the essence of feminine energy is, it's, as I said before, it's flow, it's creativity, it's freedom, it's bubbliness, and it's a bit of an unboundedness and limitlessness and embracing. And it's a very strong energy, and it's very all-encompassing, and it's kind of flows everywhere. It's just like everywhere. Whereas again, for me, the essence of masculine energy is focused and hemmed in, and it's more controlled and concentrated energy. And there's a strength to that energy as well, which is completely bundled and focused, and it's linear, it's grounded, and it's unmoving. It's very, very, very.
It's like it's a rock. So, it's like it's a rock. For me, masculine energy is also a rock. Yeah, now, absolutely. Of course, Woody, our friend Woody from Alabama, Woody has logged in, and he wants to know how your husband lasted that 10 years. Wow. Rex must really love you to get back that feminine flow. So continue on awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing feminine, masculine, there's those opposites. Mm-hmm. As women, we were taught we grew up. History has taught us, we want rights. We want the right to vote. We want equality. Don't be dependent on a man. So talk to me about that. What is your opinion really about how women have lost that flow, that feminine nature?
Yes. And, I come from a generation where my mother was just coming out of that. The woman, has to obey the husband and all that kind of generation. So, my generation for the first time was, okay, our mothers taught us and told us, hey, make sure you don't depend on a man, because they had kind of gotten that right, the right to vote, as she said, the right to work, the right to be independent, and we had the pill, so we had complete control over our bodies and what happened in there. So there was a lot of freedom. And so our mothers very often told us, do not depend on a man. Make sure you're independent. You can earn your money. You can look after yourself. So what then was that there was almost, for, if you're a strong woman like me and you, a man would come along and go, is there any value that I can add here? So very often what would happen was that the men that perhaps were looking for somebody to look after them would kind of jump on the bandwagon and say, hey, that's nice, that's an easy ride. But another strong man that would just maybe want to maybe also look after a woman would just go, well, there isn't a job for me here. So that would then either create a relationship that didn't work, or a woman that would stay on her own and just go pine for somebody to come into her life, or indeed a situation where there was equality or perceived equality, but there was no passion.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. And I don't know. I think my husband would love it if I would obey him. I'm a handful, and yet when we take over, we take over everything and we control everything, and we need to be the boss of everything, there really isn't space. And so a man will feel redundant. And so it's really transitioning that transition between the independent woman, and we bring that control and that masculinity that we've learned to be so independent. And me as a single mom, I had to do that for many years for my children. And it's learning to transition out of that into an intimate relationship, because if you bring that control into your intimacy, it'll mess things up. Like, my husband is a very masculine man, and when I go too far, he gives me the look. It's like, really? You're going to go this far? And I'm like, oh, sorry.
I know the look. Yeah, I have that look too.
It's important, but yet we're trained in so many ways. So let's move on to the B, the balance. How do we find that balance between that masculine energy and that feminine energy? And truth be told, many women aren't even trained or have no reference to feminine flow and what it means to be open and vulnerable in a good way. We're trained that vulnerable is weak. So talk to us about that, the B, the balance.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And indeed, vulnerable. I was, as a 6-year-old, I went to judo to go to self-defense, yeah, absolutely. So I did judo. I have green belt in the various martial arts and things. So I had to really relearn. I climbed trees and all that kind of stuff, buildings as well. So I had to really relearn how to be feminine and to really learn that. So I was my own first client, as you wish. And, very often people think, oh, if you wear a skirt or a dress, then then you feel like a woman. We all know women who wear a skirt or a dress that still look very, very hard, maybe masculine. So it's not necessarily in the clothes. It can help, but there is there's more of an attitude way, and there's more of a subtle change in various things that you do. I could climb on a chair and get the thing from the top shelf. I could change the tires on my car, but one of the first things I did was ask for things, and I would never do that. I could do everything myself. And one of my first clients was a woman who was also like me, had done Ironman, and she goes, Brigitte, there's not much passion happening in my life, and I can do everything. I'm an Ironman woman. That alone says it. So I said, well, do you do everything in your home? So she said yes, and it sounds I feel really silly if I don't. So I said, well, just for 1 week, why don't you ask him to do things that you normally do yourself? So we said, well, ask him to get the vase from the top shelf, and ask him to open the jam jar, which you could probably do yourself. Ask him to do those things, and he would. And it was interesting because she said he gave me some funny looks, but he was very happy to do it. And after a week, he said, without knowing what she was doing, and she said, Brigitte, I feel really cheesy. But she said after a week, what he said, this week I felt that you loved me so much. She was going, what?
Well,
what's
yeah,
happening, whether anything's
he
different.
felt,
But this is
he
what I
felt
felt.
connected to you. And I think I want to take a step back too, because I know that there are probably a lot of women going, well, damn, I don't want to be feminine because then I'll be weak. And, I've been trained this way. And I think that the essence of all of this is to take a step back and find out what your core is, because I know I was a business attorney, still am, for 26 years. I was a CFO for a financial firm. Even as a teenager, I was a teenage grease monkey. So I changed tires and pumped gas because the boys at school told me I couldn't. And so while I gained their respect as a friend, I wasn't necessarily a girl they would be attracted to. And as a lawyer, I had to get in there and get it done. And yet there was a part of me that was completely exhausted. And it was like I had to put on this mask and get to work and be successful. And I was. And yet there was a part of me that was crying out that to be authentic and to be real. So when we all have masculine and feminine energies, it's where is our home base? And so your home base may be masculine, but it's having that awareness and then creating that balance in your life. And for me, when I met my husband, my office, I had a home office and I was running my real estate investment company from home. And so my kids and my husband would come home and I would still be I'm in charge, I'm running the show, let's go. And it was very disarming for a masculine man. And it didn't really work out so well. So what I started to do to create balance is I actually went out and rented an office. And now coming home, I transition my mindset because I love being feminine and I love my husband's masculine. He's an incredibly masculine man. And I love coming home to him, and he belongs to me and I belong to him. And it flows naturally because there's space for him to be the man. Now, not all the time, because he's probably watching this laughing hysterically going, yeah, right, I'm going to remind you of this. And sure, there are times that we need to be reminded. It's deciding where you are authentically. So for women out there, are you exhausted? Are you doing everything? Are you running the show? Are you organizing all the finances, deciding what to do like Brigitte did with her story with Rex? And it's really creating some space for your man to be a man. And men, let's get back to it. Take back your balls and take responsibility for that balance as well. So it's a dance. And that's why I appreciate your book so much. And so let's go on to the C, connected. Talk to me about the C. Talk to all of us about the C.
Sure, absolutely, yes. We really need to then look at the relationship itself and see where you can take that. And as we said before, there's masculine and feminine in all of us. So you can have a connection between a masculine woman with a feminine man who has more in their core. So that can all be part of it. So it's very important to see what is right in your relationship. And so what's right in my relationship or your relationship doesn't necessarily mean that's right for everybody in their relationship. So it's really good to see where is that connection. And when you said, you were that grease monkey, my youngest son was always the girl's best friend when he was a teenager. And he says, Mom, the girls always want to take me out shopping. And they put all kinds of clothes on me, but they would never date me. So he had, he was their best girlfriend in a way. So he had to become more masculine. He had to own his balls more and really, instead of being their best friend, being the guy. And so there is this transition and saying, what is my core? And of course, you will know what is more natural for you. So it's the natural and authentic. So it's not necessarily, okay, you're a woman, so you have to behave like this. You're a man, you have to behave like that. And very often, indeed, the feminine, people confuse the feminine with being a weak, ditzy, but that's not what it is about, as you well know. It is more of you being in your flow, what feels natural to you. And for a lot of women, that can be the creativity, that can be a dance, that can be, having a hot bath. But for others, I know that I have done Ironman in a masculine way, but I have also seen other people and myself do it in a very feminine way. So you know, you can cycle up and down a mountain, just focus on the road, or you can cycle up and down a mountain and you can listen to the birds, and you can still go fast, and you can look at the flowers and smell things around you. So there is a way that you can really balance that and connect that back.
Sure.
First of all,
I think, Brigitte, the greatest message in all of this, and hearing about your son having girlfriends and not being appealing to his mates, it's this: similarity creates connection. So that, you'll have a lot of great friends. Even in me in high school, I was the grease monkey. I had a lot of guy friends. Similarity creates connection. But polarity, the opposites, create passion. And so it's really understanding. Everybody's going, well, why do we need to do this? I have my husband's or my boyfriend's my best friend. Well, you may have a best friend in life because you're connected, because you're the same. It's sameness. But if you want passion, it's the opposites that attract. It's the opposites that magnetize. And if you are feminine at your core and your man is masculine, it's going into that feminine space, which is quite powerful. It's not ditzy. It's our definition of femininity. So people think, well, feminine is weak and ditzy. Let me tell you something. Feminine is calm and balanced and open. Just have a baby, okay? Try and have a baby. And there's nothing ditzy and weak about having a baby. It's our feminine power coming through, and we own it. And that's the ultimate creativity, is bringing life into the world. And we bring life all around us all the time. And so there's strength in femininity and there's strength in masculinity. And if you can find that balance between the two and allow it to attract naturally. And I know that you have, as well as me, worked with gay and lesbian relationships, and that same applies. So same thing. So if both people are both feminine or both people are both masculine, they'll be friends, but there won't be tension. I recently worked at a personal development event, and a man came up to me, and he was a gay man, and he was talking about, he realized that he was feminine at his core, and yet he was putting on a masculine mask, thinking that that was attractive. And he was excited to go back and be authentic into who he is and create that polarity, that tension that will pull each other to one another. Does that make sense?
Totally. That's exactly what it's about. And I would say, if you try to be something else, then you're not at your core, you feel that stress after a while, you feel exhausted. So to really find out what that is for yourself, and then get to work, or get to play rather, because that's the fun part, that you really get to be yourself. And there's nothing more attractive than a person who lives who they truly are, who lives from their heart, from their soul, and really reconnected to that part of themselves. And that's when you can truly connect in a relationship where it's fun, it's playful. Of course, there will be tension at time, and tension is good because that creates polarity. Yes. So there is that ebb and flow as well. And where you create that balance and that tension, that, when there's balance, then there's unbalance. So there's that constant flow as well in relationships as well. So there will never be a moment where you go, right, this is how the relationship is. You can never put it in a box and say, right, this is how it should be. When that balance is there, it will be unbalanced, and then you get to create again, and you can dance with and flow with.
Right, and if you have a strong man, I'll bring you back. So, men, think about that. So it's the ABCs: A, awareness. Who are you at your core? B, balanced. Bring things back to balance, and it may seem unnatural at first because we've trained our bodies to wear these masks. So retrain. You learned one time, we can learn again. And, there was a great quote, and I'll read it here, and people will go, well, why do I need to do this? I like being strong. And the quote I want to share is, unless it is mad, passionate, extraordinary love, it's a waste of time. There are too many mediocre things in life, and love should not be one of them. So if you want a best friend, great. But if you really want a lover, find your core and explore and create that polarity. So our time is up for the content, and our gift for you is that we have this summary of all of this on the G Lounge. It's my blog page on my website, GinaKloes.com, GINAKLOES.com. We're going to open it up for questions right now. And so you can either call in or you can ask a question, and we can bring you in. I see Suzanne is here from England, and Woody's here from Alabama. Coach Coop is here from LA. I believe Felix Lynn is here also from LA. So we'd love to get some questions from you. I wanted you to share some stories. I was just going to share a story of one woman I know that she's beautiful and she's truly feminine at her core. And she learned to be a CFO and has been awarded lots of accolades by her success. And because of that, I believe in her relationship, she takes over because she can. And she takes over running things for people, and in different relationships over time, she's taken charge. And I know that she's exhausted from that. And I think truly she doesn't want to, but it's what her patterns have been, her habits have been. And she's learning now to untrain those habits to allow the man in her life to come back. Can you share some of the stories that you've had with some of the women you coach?
Right. Okay. Lovely lady. I coached her initially on her business, and she had a recruitment business in Northeast London, and she was she was a single mom. She had a beautiful, beautiful home where her own mother lived, and her children, they went to school, they had a nanny, and she had everything worked out. It was all clockwork. And one day, so we've been coaching on her business, and one day she came to me and said, Brigitte, you know, there's one thing that's really missing in my life, and that's a relationship. And so we got to work, and we came to the conclusion that she was so focused and so controlling, and everything was so perfect in her life that the men that she attracted were the men that went, oh, well, sounds like a really good idea. I just have to slot in there, and then I don't need to do anything. There is somebody who's who will take care of me. So she attracted. So we coached and we worked on her own attitude, and she started to change the way she dressed. She was always power dressing, you know, wonderful suits, great brands, but she found that she was actually intimidating some of the men that would have been the ones that would be, you know, that would be interested in her, apart from those that were seeking a surrogate mum. So she changed her clothes a little bit, certainly out of work. She started to wear accessories, some flowy things, scarves and things like that. And also notice when men were interested, because she never noticed. She was always focused. She was always on her way to something, and never really noticed that a man was interested in her. So even, you know, in the lounges in the airport, she would just be working, and either in her papers or her laptop, and not being even noticing if anybody would notice her. So you know, she was given homework to look around and smile and to just, you know, make eye contact. And she changed her ways, and slowly she started to date Peter, and she changed her ways, and it was hard for her to let go. But after a while, and through some coaching, she really said, gosh, you know, I have had to step back and to really also allow my feminine to come out, because I had to be so focused, like you yourself a little bit. Single mom, had to do it all her own mother that she had to take care of as well. And then, you know, she slowly started to let go of the control as well as let him into her life. And
I think we're cutting out a little bit, Brigitte, and I think that where you're going with this is that she started to feel more authentic, and while she had periodically or lived her life in the masculine, because many of us women have to in this culture where it's a male-dominated world. And yet if we are truly feminine at our core and we can come back to that, it's such a blessing, and it feels so good. It feels so good when my husband takes care of me, and I mean, he brings me green tea every morning, and he loves me. I feel like I belong to him. And one thing I want to say to men, and we have a question here from Coop, is that, you know, many men say, well, sure, I'd love my woman to be more feminine, put on some lingerie and be more like a girl. But here's the deal, men. For women to be vulnerable and powerful in our vulnerability, we first have to feel safe. We first have to feel completely and utterly safe in a container, and then we can flow freely. So create that big, strong male container for us. And we will walk right into it and lovingly and joyfully be free in our femininity. So it sounds like the woman that you coached was in that. Now, here's a question from Coop. I think there is a perception that masculine men should always be in the masculine. When is it okay, or when should men be in their feminine? Great question. So, Brigitte, how would you answer that question?
Yes, absolutely. No, I think there is a flow as well. There is, we both, as men and women, we both have those energies. So we can flow into that. And I think personally, and also what I found over the years with my clients, that if a masculine man is always in their masculine, I think for most men, that's not natural. Men have perhaps their work or another task that they're doing. They're sowing trees or something. I think it's a good idea to be in masculine. Whereas if you're perhaps playing with your child, maybe you need to be more in your feminine energy, or, when you're being creative, because we all have that part as well. So I think there is a blend, and there's this complementing constant dance and flow in both men and women where both of us can go into that. I think where I sometimes, still have the competition is when both of us are in masculine. But if I'm in my masculine, when he's in his feminine, that's fine. Then we dance again. But if we're both in feminine, then again, there is this, neither of us, there can be this discombobulation going on. So if there is that dance all the time, that's completely fine. And that works.
I think the key for my understanding is, and my experiences, is that having behavioral flexibility and that complete awareness of where your core is, and I believe my core is feminine, but yet being able to modulate into masculine and modulate into feminine, and being able to toggle between those. There are times we want our men to be sensitive, and maybe having that femininity accessible, yet knowing where our partners are at their core. So Woody has a question. How does a man actually go feminine? Can you address that question a bit?
Okay. Yes. Again. Yes. I think. Do you mean by go feminine from a core of masculine to go feminine?
Woody, is that what you mean? Or if you want to call in, we can call. You can log in and have a chat with Brigitte. What do you mean? Clarity, please, on that. Oh, here he comes. All right, show callers. Here comes Woody. Everybody hold on to your seats. It's Woody from Alabama. Hello, Woody. Welcome, bro.
Hey, Bridget, Woody. You're awesome. I love your book.
Hello, darling.
Awesome,
how are you?
Awesome. And Gina, you look beautiful as always. What is something a man does that y'all consider? Is that when they listen to a long meta report?
What's a meta report? Explain to our audience, Woody, because we all know what that means, but tell everyone what it is. Or should I tell you about my morning and how I got ready and how forever it
go for it.
The blab, and we were on Google, and we were on Facebook, and then we were on, and then it was crazy. Then I called Coop. I said, Coop, you can't get on. Completely. He pressed every single button on the blab. And go. Okay. All right. So then, and I'm just not quite sure exactly what happened.
Honey.
Then and now, and thank God you're here right now.
Tell me more, honey.
And then you called in, and I was so excited.
Oh, is that all that happened? Did you paint your fingernails?
Well, that too. My finger. I need a manicure. When was the last time you had a manicure?
Let's go get one together. Let's go get one together.
Oh, let's go get one. And pedicure, and then massage.
Brilliant. You have to go to Bali.
And then there was that country club that you were telling me about in New Orleans.
That's a metal report. How does a man go feminine? Cut to the chase.
So what do you mean specifically? You mean how does a man
feminine and masculine energy, feminine? And what is something men do that is powerful when they go feminine?
Hang on. I'm not sure I understand the question.
I think the question is really, how does a man actually, if he's in a masculine...
Does he wear feminine clothes, or does he...
Woody might do that, because, that's Woody, but I think it's really more of an emotional state. It's a state that he can take himself into.
You were talking about your client, Bridget, that started wearing different clothes and then started being more aware.
Yes, absolutely. It's the same with the guy, you know. I've worked, of course, with guys as well who become more feminine and they want to become more masculine. So, you know, we look at the clothes. What are you wearing? How are you standing? You know, what is the language less focused? So if the language is less focused, it's more feminine. You know, it becomes the meadow talk that Gina just so beautifully demonstrated. So that is more
That's
of
the connection
feminine,
part and not the polarity part.
Sorry?
When they go feminine with their feminine woman, then they get some connection, not the polarity.
Right. I mean, men will get sensitive and say, sure, we'll go shopping. Or it's really an emotional state of being open and flowy and wanting to share their emotions. And that's all important periodically.
It's so funny, Gina. I'm in a store yesterday and a husband and wife are having it out because he's had enough shopping. You know what I mean? He's had.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like, I've been doing this 2 hours. I'm ready to go home and watch the basketball game. And she's like,
that was Greg yesterday. We were at a store and I said to the woman, could you check me out a little faster? My husband's at the front door holding the door open for me. He has had enough. So he can go there in short spurts, but it's not his core. Sure. And yet it's, you know, we want to connect.
How do women make it fun for the man to go shopping?
Okay. When you say, okay, after that, you can have your whatever, your beer or your basketball, or you can watch it on your phone whilst we shop or something like, or hey, you know, guess what? I bought some lingerie, whatever happens after, something like that. Or
or make your man your hero. Make your man your hero. Like, honey, you are the best husband in the history of the universe.
Absolutely. You know,
you are my hero.
You're the best one.
You are my hero. And he is my hero, actually, because he will indulge my...
Can I ask what, like, in your book, what are your steps for giving the man his balls back? Or was it, you were talking briefly about one of the things that... Go ahead.
Well, it's the change. So it's not necessarily doing anything specifically with or to him, but it's more okay, so this is what we do. We look at how do we specifically give what, you know, with the women going, okay, now I own all this. So asking the man to do things for her. So, and it also
you find that they get bothered by that?
What?
Something that the woman used to do, and now they have to get up and do it. Do the men get bothered by it?
Oh, yes, very much. Very much. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because it's not my words, but my husband's words going, men are innately lazy, and they're very happy when the woman does all this. And not my words, Rex's words.
That's what Rex said.
That's what Rex says. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, wait, we have another caller coming in. Here comes James Cooper in our discussion. From the male perspective.
Fascinating.
Hey, James.
Come on, jump on in.
Hey.
Hi.
Go, guys.
What about if you, what do you do to get your woman to ask you to do things more? Because I think on my frustration is I don't get asked enough. And there's
take charge, Coop. Take some charge saying, hello, no, I'm doing that. That's my job.
No. I know. But there are things that I don't know that I need to be asked to do.
Well, that's a man. You're supposed to read our minds and know exactly what we want when we want it. And if you don't read our minds, you're in trouble. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So,
like, for instance, what would you like her to ask you?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think just, when she needs more time for herself to ask me to take care of, could you take care of the dishes or take care of things? I know those are things that I guess we're supposed to do anyway, but I'm just saying, like, ask, to do things so that she can have the time that she needs.
Well, here's a question.
And I think that is a big thing between guys and women.
Sorry.
That's the big thing. We want you guys to read our mind, and you want us to ask. So that's always the thing. Just ask, honey. Just ask, honey. And we go, oh, why don't you just not guess? So it becomes.
I think she cut out. I think.
Really,
but I get it.
maybe really make him your hero. So when he has done something and you've asked for that, to go, wow, honey, I really thank you so much. That was so special that you did that for me.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing that I always love to do with couples is, if you ask Coop, maybe you and Alex, and I know that Alex is listening, so we'd love to get Alex's commentary. Here's the deal. Ask Alex, what has to happen for you to feel loved and in your authentic self? And Alex could ask you, Coop, what has to happen for you to feel loved? And you could say, what would make me feel loved is for you to make some space for me to be the man and ask me for things and ask me to support in a way that would support you. I mean, have the conversation. Yeah. Rarely do couples ever sit down and say, what has to happen for you to feel loved? And there's that old rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. No, treat people the way they want to be treated. And the only way you're going to know that is to ask. So when I ask my husband, what has to happen for you to feel loved? Greg will say, oh, I just need you to be around and in the ether and be and participate in family. And I'm like, well, ask me. What has to happen for you to feel? I need attention, one-on-one. Pay attention to me. Give me space. Woody, you don't pay enough attention to me. You're one of my best friends. So anyway, so ask the question. Alex, are you on? What type of message? Oh, wait, someone's calling in. Is this? Let me see who this is.
Alex coming up. Come on, Alex. Come on.
Brigitte's calling in. Alex, do you want to call in? Double dog dare you, Alex. We'll pull Brigitte back in. Here we go. So ask, what has to happen for you to feel loved? And where is our Alex?
She's know your partner's rules.
And she's probably taking care of your babies, wondering why you're not helping her.
Yeah, she's not gonna call in. But yeah.
I'm with the boys. I'm with the boys. I'm with the boys.
We have all our
Coop got to hide and listen to the call. Okay, so we all know he's in trouble. Coop got to call in and listen to the call.
There it is, right there, the polarity. He's hiding. I'm working.
And you should read her mind. You should know that she wants you to take care of the boys so she can working. With her quotes, he's working, huh?
Hey, Alex, if you were on here, you'd hear that he wants you to ask him to take care of the boys more often.
Yeah. He wants you to say, Coop, darling, you go write all those successful scripts for those TV shows, and I'll take care of the boys. And then she'll say, well, wait a minute. Don't you want us to be together as a family? I thought you'd want us to be together as a family. You're asking to take care of the boys without me?
Gina, can Coop talk?
Oh, well, then that would interrupt my meta report. Okay, fine. Go, Coop.
Woody is loving this.
Oh. I'm about to cry. It's so funny.
Oh, did you see Alex's? Let me just give you her comment. I don't ask for help because I feel I add value by doing what I can. Oh, Coop, here's your opening. Go.
Well, I want to know what Brigitte has to say about all this.
Brigitte, we can't hear you again.
I'll talk for her.
Woody would be my coach.
Hi, I'm Bridget.
No, she can't hear you, but you go. Woody, coach him.
I mean, this isn't just talking and building up. My wife's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I could do what she does. I mean, not only taking care and creating a home, but taking care of our kids, and on top of that, having a blossoming career. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know if I could possibly do all that. And so, I mean, I want to create a space where she can blossom and grow and have the time to do the things that she wants to do. And it's just finding a way to make it all work, So.
What I'm hearing is that you just need her every now and then while she's taking care of the kids to let you know you're important enough, and that maybe you could take care of them for a few minutes too, while you're
I do my best to do that. I do my best to try to find time to make the time, I guess, for lack of a better word, fair. It's just I think, and I know that I'm not alone in men who feel this way, is that sometimes if we're not asked to do things, we don't feel useful. We don't feel like we're contributing, or that we're, we are able to be masculine. I think sometimes being able to, when we're asked to do something, I mean, the fact that it's something that it's easy to step in and do, and handle that challenge and accomplish that goal, it gives us something. Masculine men are very linear. Tell us what to do, we'll fix it. But the fact that the game is never fair, in the sense that the feminine energy wants us to guess, wants us to just know. And for the masculine, that's difficult to understand, because, women don't want men to just fix a problem, or, they want us to feel what your journey is through the problem. They want us to, I think that the feminine energy, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brigitte, I see you're nodding, but it's like the feminine energy wants us to be emotionally with you, what you've gone through all the way through this. And for the masculine, that's just kind of like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, you're in pain, let's just fix the pain. But that doesn't work for the feminine. The feminine wants us to feel your pain so that you can get it all out, so that the masculine knows exactly what we've gone through, so that then they can feel good about it. Whereas the man is like, I don't want to hear, I want to just fix the problem.
You have to get into your feminine for a little while, as Woody was asking about, and share our pain and understand and feel what we've gone through. Well, don't try to fix it until I'm done sharing. Don't try to fix it
and girls like that. Women like that.
Yeah, we love that. Well, that's why it's important, women, for you to have a village of women. And Coop, Brigitte, still can't hear you. We'd love to hear from you.
Type the answer. You can't.
Type the answer in too, Brigitte. Coop, also, I believe men need to take charge. I remember at one point when I first met my husband, and I was used to packing the truck to go camping, and I started to lift up these big duffels, and my husband goes, "What are you doing? Move out of the way." And he took charge of things that he felt were his arena. And it takes a lot to push me out of the way. So ask Woody, he's one of my best friends, but it's, and yet he owns it. So nobody takes away your balls without your permission. So owning certain things and just declaring that this is my arena and that's what I'm doing is also important too, rather than just waiting to be asked. Oh, wait, we have a whole lot of comments here. Let's see. Damn it, I heard, this is from Alex. Damn it, I heard my wife's so amazing, and then it cut out. I'll watch the replay. And she said, understood, not guess or no. Asking for a friend. What if you're both in your feminine and discussions and arguments aren't productive?
That's interesting.
And then Suzanne Burns from England said, my perception is the Alex and Coop situation is that Alex feels she adds value by looking after the kids, and she wants Coop to notice that she has added so much value that he wants to jump in because he appreciates her so much. She deserves some time out. Women love the thank you and appreciation. Men do too, but that's very interesting. What do you think about that? I hope Brigitte can come back in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Alex says, wow, Suzanne.
I think Alex and Suzanne need to talk.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate Alex. Alex, you are amazing. Wonderful. I just can't believe how you do it with the kids. And what could you say, Coop? Oh, boy, you're in the hot seat.
I am. When did this become the Alex and Coop hot seat?
And then Suzanne says, so she wants him to notice rather than her asking. Oh, and Brigitte said men love the praise.
Well, let me ask James. I mean, do you acknowledge your wife when she takes care of the kids enough?
I could always do more.
Alex, does he acknowledge and appreciate you in the way you want to be appreciated? He does.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got to be.
Brigitte, can we hear you? No? With words. So how else do you want him to acknowledge you? You say with words. What else could Coop do to acknowledge you?
We don't need to spend all time on this. I mean, I'm just talking about just in the general sense. I think that when you know what your partner's when you know what your partner's love language is, and I know we don't need to go right into love languages, but I mean, the more that you can meet, if words or praise is something that they want, then to give them that as much as possible. If quality time is something that's so important, I think that, try to make that happen as much as possible so that you meet your partner's love language.
Sure. And Coop, so what has to happen for Alex to feel love? And then we'll not put you on the hot seat anymore. What has to happen for Alex to feel loved by you?
That's a great. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's important that she knows that all the things that she does is amazing and feels. I think.
She needs genoeg internet there.
Feeling respected, I think, is another big thing. So that's a good thing.
Regina, there's a lot of feedback.
She's walking to the meadow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you see me? Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yay! I'm closer to the Wi-Fi. That helps. Okay. Alrighty. So I've been hearing you mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, Coop was sharing what has to happen for Alex to feel love. Alex, is that true? She says can of worms.
Yeah,
okay. Yay! Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to monopolize this whole thing. I was talking to something that serves for a lot of men out there that they know that it's okay to be in your feminine at times to connect, but it's also important to make sure that you stay grounded in your masculine in order to serve your relationship.
Very much, and I think it's very much a dance, and it's sometimes that dance works, and sometimes you step on each other's toes as you do when you dance. So,
yeah.
Yeah, right, Woody.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so but that's how it is. So sometimes it really flows, and other times you go, we're going one way, and the other person's going the other way. And with regards to what was the question earlier that I tried to answer?
Well, I think that the question that I was interested in that she proposed was like, what happens when both people are in a discussion, maybe even a heated discussion, and in reality, both people are in their feminine. And I know that that's more on the man who should be masculine in his core going into his feminine, because sometimes arguing, a man can go into his feminine. It's not masculine.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, it was really. I had a funny argument with my husband the other day.
I'm confused by that. I'm very confused by that.
Can I just give an example of that?
Arguing is necessarily a feminine thing, Woody, is what I'm saying. Is like, arguing and having a discussion with your partner in a just because you may get louder or faster or whatever when you're talking doesn't necessarily mean you're being masculine. Sometimes, and I think the masculine sometimes is just standing there like a rock and just taking the storm. But a lot of times, as human beings, when people argue, what comes at them hurts, and so they feel they need to defend themselves, and then you argue back, and that's not necessarily being masculine. That's actually going more toward your feminine.
Yeah, and it becomes more of a bickering, and it's he said, she said, and it becomes, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy thing more, and looking at the bigger picture perhaps, and and it was interesting because the other day Rex and I had an argument. It was really interesting because I had just done a retreat and I was dead tired, and it was 10 days after, and I was just going, I don't know why I'm so tired. I haven't done anything. And he goes, I don't know either. I don't know why you're so tired. And we're getting more and more heated. And I was going, I've done nothing. And he's going, no, I have no idea why you're so tired. And we're getting more and more into this silly argument. And he goes, stop. And I go, okay. And he goes, you've done this, you've done that, you've done that. Because he was really getting back into his masculine. And I go, okay, thank you. Now I'm getting why I'm so tired. And it was just really silly, but because he was in his feminine, I was going feminine. We're going da. And then he just went, right, I've had enough. This is what you've done. This woman appreciated you. You've done a great retreat. Okay. And I was just going, okay, thank you. But it was really, we were not going anywhere. It was all feminine, we were waffling, both of us. So it was really, that was just for me an example of how that wasn't bleeding anywhere. It was just going, we could have gone on for 6 hours if we had the, all in the feminine. That just didn't work. And he just went, right, boom, done. So that made me stop. Yeah.
For those of you that have logged in, we're talking with expert Brigitte Sumner about masculine and feminine energy and giving him back his balls. And we are blessed to have Woody from Alabama and James Cooper from Los Angeles come in and share a bit of male perspective and that interplay between modulating between our feminine and masculine energies and what creates passion and what creates friendship and understanding how to love someone in the way they want to be loved to create that. So you guys have been fantastic. Are there any more questions? Alex, we love you out there. Suzanne,
Yes.
thank you for being a girlfriend, Alex, and helping her out and helping a guy out. Coop appreciates it. He's got a handful because now he's got to walk upstairs with Alex and the kid. We want like a episode 2 on the Alex Coop Love Show and to see how that develops. And
I want to know when Greg is going to come on.
Yeah.
I know.
I want to interview Greg. I'd
Greg,
like to
where are you? He's out there like shoveling the snow outside. Oh, wait. Phone died. Missed a lot. Thanks, everyone. Well, where is Greg? I don't know. Greg, are you out there? Yeah, he's hiding. He said he's going to go get his chainsaw and go saw some of the trees. He's not walking in. Are you kidding right now? It's like walking into a, scary trap for him. And I do love him like crazy. And I am a handful. And Woody, are you in a relationship now?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Let's hear
No,
about
I'm
Woody.
playing the field. I'm so young. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah. And what do you look for in a relationship?
Fun.
And how do you know you're attracted to another man?
Oh, well, they need to look good.
So look good.
They need to have fun, and they have to have something going on.
And so are you masculine or feminine at your core?
I think I'm masculine, but I can go with either way.
But at your true core, you're masculine, but you can
That's
go.
why I get along with you so well. I have to be feminine a lot because you.
That's right. I have a lot to say, and that's why I go masculine.
You're always trying to be the boss of me.
You boss me, and you ignore me, and you don't pay enough attention to me, and I need.
If I paid as much attention as
dying
you
in the corner,
needed,
withering.
I would have nothing left. I would have nothing left.
You're all your boyfriends. So, what attracts you in a man? Is it a feminine man?
I like guys.
You like masculine guys, so maybe you are feminine at your core.
Well, no, not everything fits into your little box.
Well, that's true. That's true. You go all over the place. That's why I get pictures every other day.
What? In your mind, or these things I'm actually seeing?
Oh dear.
Is there a belt nearby?
Oh, I love the belt.
Whoa.
And could you please show me the picture of your New Orleans costume in the country club?
I don't know why not.
All right, we're being wicked, but it's all in fun.
But I want to tell you, this has been the distinction I got from James or Coach Coop about just shutting up and not saying anything is masculine.
Yeah.
That's just like that.
The grunt.
Or it's just the. Well, that's a distinction for me, but I like to argue, so I guess I'm feminine, huh?
You like to argue a lot, especially with me. Gina and Woody, let's argue show. That's a different.
I'm afraid to believe just anything somebody says. I got to get them to prove it.
Oh, I see.
So what would have to happen for you to prove it now?
Prove
With
what?
Everything that we've talked about. Is that enough proof?
Well, I mean, I would take it in as I am. Well, awareness from what these shows are bringing is awareness to people and the understanding that there might be a better way of whatever they're doing.
Right.
And then everybody, at least in my rules of the world, is needs to go try out something and see if it does work, because it could be working better. And who doesn't want to improve, at least in our environment? So that's why I was just sitting there. What can I get from this? And then just bam, like being quiet. And one of them. I have a company.
You be quiet.
I have a company I run, and so one of the things that just came out is that some of the times my CEO or my CEO, they have to like put down their masculine. I'm just having the conversation with them, and they'll just go. You know what I mean? Like I'll be saying, I go these orders, barking these orders out, whether they agree with them or not, it'll just be. then they wait and then they come back and have a conversation. It's that much like men do sometimes with women, right?
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not only in intimate relationships, it's also, everywhere where people communicate and relate. Yeah.
That's
happens everywhere.
Well, you can get Brigitte's book, give him back his balls on Amazon. You can get a recap of this show in the G Lounge at ginakloes.com. That'll be on tonight. And we'll have a replay of this on YouTube. And we'll be back at one point with the Gina and Woody Argue show. And we'll have to get episode 2 of the Alex and Coop In Love and In Trouble show. And we will have Brigitte back with her beautiful flow and wisdom and guidance about masculine, feminine energy. Women, give your man his balls back. Man, take your balls back. And we appreciate you being here. We're here every Sunday at 10 a.m. on the G Live show. Be well, be joyful, be inspired, and have a beautiful day. I love you guys for coming on.
Love you. Good
love you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.